Do you ever feel like your child is sending you mixed messages? One minute, they're begging to be held. The next, they're screaming, "Leave me alone." These clashing signals aren't just confusing for parents, but for the children sending them as well. At the core of these emotional flip-flops is your child's conflicting inner need and fear of connection. In this video, we'll explore why kids from hard places both crave and avoid connection. You'll gain insights geared toward caregivers on the front lines of foster care, including 5 practical strategies that will help you connect with your child. In their book, The 3 Pillars of Transforming Care, Howard Bath and John Sida named connection as one of 3 vital aspects of caring for children with trauma. Every human being on the planet needs connection. Children typically form their first connection with their caregiver as an infant. The baby cries. The caregiver responds by changing, rocking, or feeding them, and the baby calms down. This happens thousands upon thousands of times, teaching the child to turn to their caregiver when they're frightened or in need. This is the framework for building trust. However, when their cries go unanswered, babies can't form that first connection. Rather than learning to trust their caregiver, the child develops creative ways of getting their needs met. For these children, solitude feels safe. Connection feels scary. This is true of many kids in foster care, even those who enter care as newborns. Some didn't get their needs met in utero due to things like maternal drug use or nutritional deficiency. No matter when it happens, broken trust damages a child's ability to feel safe with even the most loving caregiver. So they lash out, they shut down, they reject connection because their brains and bodies are screaming danger. That's where you come in. You now have the opportunity to help your child build trust by being a safe, responsive caregiver they can rely on. Howard Bath and John Sida lay out 3 key components for connection. First, your child needs to form an attachment to a caregiver. This crucial bond acts as a child's emotional safety rope, a reliable source of security. Attachment lays the groundwork for every other healthy relationship throughout the child's life. Second, your child needs to feel they belong. A sense of belonging allows a child to feel safe because their voice, needs, and feelings matter. Third, your child needs trustworthy leaders. These are adults invested in your child's well-being and success outside of yourself. Examples might be a coach, a teacher, or a counselor. These relationships can have a profound impact on a child's ability to connect to others in the future. Now that you know your child's needs, let's look at 5 strategies you can use to build connection with them. Your first strategy is calming their cries. This will require you to return to the place where your child's trust was first broken. Say your 10-year-old steps off the school bus at the end of your driveway. The moment he spots you standing there waiting for him, he flings his backpack across the yard and collapses. You may see a 10-year-old throwing a temper tantrum, but inside, he's still a baby crying in distress. He's tired, hungry, and overstimulated from the noise on the bus. He needs you, but he has no idea how to verbalize that need. In fact, his desire for your comfort may even feel scary. This is your chance to help him start over. You can hear your baby's cry and meet his need. In practice, calming a crying baby would mean picking him up and rocking him. For your 10-year-old, it might mean sitting down on the ground next to him and rubbing his back. It might mean acknowledging his feelings and offering simple solutions. I can see you had a hard day. why don't we rest for a minute and drink some water before we go inside? Or maybe your child's cry looks like a flurry of anxious activity, like talking fast or fidgeting. To calm his distress, you might offer to play a game or take the dog for a walk. This can help release built-up stress in his body. Like any new parent, you will need to take some time to learn how to interpret and calm your child's cries. Your second strategy is expressing delight in your child. You want to communicate to your child that you enjoy them, that you're happy they're around. Think of how a dog starts wagging its tail when it sees its owner coming. The owner feels appreciated, wanted, and special. You need to wag your tail when it comes to your child. As your child steps off the bus, you can use your words and body language to tell them you're happy to see them. Some kids will accept a big bear hug, while others, especially teens, need you to be more creative. Try to find something that they like to initiate the engagement. You might leave their favorite snack out on the kitchen table with a funny note for them. Or you might greet them with a secret handshake you made up together. This is a great way to playfully say, "I'm glad to see you," without words. Finding your child's preferences may take time. You will have to learn how your child responds to things like physical touch and direct conversation. The more ways you find to wag your tail, the more receptive your child will eventually become. Your third strategy is responding to bids for attention. Giving your child attention when they ask for it may seem like a no-brainer, but not all bids for attention look the same. A child may ask for attention in one of three ways: a positive bid, a negative bid, or an avoidant bid. A positive bid for attention is easy to identify. Your child jumps off the bus and runs to meet you. He excitedly shoves his new painting in your face or reaches up for a hug. Negative bids look different. Your child gets off the bus, runs up to you, and kicks you square in the shin. You don't know what prompted the action, and it can be hard to analyze his motive with your leg throbbing. However, kicking your shin is still his way of engaging your attention. He may be saying, "I feel overwhelmed by my day at school, but I don't know if I can trust you with my big feelings yet." Try to breathe rather than blowing up in anger. Once you're calm, acknowledge his big feelings, but remind him that kicking is not okay. Then give him a redo and encourage him to use his words this time. An avoidant bid might look like this. Your child gets off the bus, walks right past you, and locks himself in his room. No greeting, no explanation. Even though he seems to be avoiding you, he's telling you through his actions that something is wrong. One way to approach avoidant bids is to engage from a distance. Try sliding a note under the bedroom door. Offer a snack or suggest an activity he enjoys. If all else fails, try just sitting quietly near him. Let him know you're there when he needs you. Never ignore avoidant behavior. I know, it can be hard to drop everything to attend to a sulky kid. But that avoidance is your 10 or 15-year-old baby crying. Put down the phone, hand the toddler to your spouse, and go to them. Even if your child struggles to engage, sometimes it's enough to know you're there. The fourth strategy is including your child in routines and rituals. Including your child from foster care in these exclusive parts of your family's life creates a sense of belonging. It solidifies their place as part of the family unit. These rituals may include simple, everyday tasks like packing lunchboxes or saying prayers at bedtime. It can also mean including them in family activities like church services on Sunday or pizza and movie night every Friday. An important part of integrating a child into a routine is talking it through with them. Doing so can give them a sense of security by allowing them to anticipate what will happen each day. Your fifth and final connection strategy is incorporating Rhythm or rhythmic activities. Rhythm promotes connection between people as they synchronize their movements and actions. Examples of rhythmic activity are throwing a ball back and forth or playing music together. Our brains instinctively view synchronization as a connection. It's next to impossible to dislike someone when you're mirroring each other's movements. Dancing, singing, or playing basketball together causes your child to see you as a partner, a teammate. It tells them you have something in common and they belong with you. I know how hard it can be to pursue a connection with a child who insists on keeping you at arm's length. The most important thing that you can do is keep trying. Don't give up. Many kids from foster care have never had someone stick with them before. Today, as you engage with your child, remember your strategies. Calm their cries, express delight, give your attention, include them in routines, and find a rhythm. Remember, God placed his beloved child into your family. He chose you for them, and he will be faithful to work through you. When parents vigilantly work to connect with their children, there is real hope for healing.